Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video we're going to take a look at some buffed Pokemon. Two exactly here. We're going to have the Gyarados, which is going to have a actually ginormous buff in my opinion with Dragon Breath, but also going to have our Shadow Bastion, which maybe deserves its own video. It's a fun Pokemon to use, but also here we're going to have the Shadow version of Annihilate, which is going to have access to the, Great Chest, which is going to be cool against its current meta. I think fighting type Pokemon are very good in the current meta as well still, especially if they have ice type coverage, which we have here with the Annihilate and Primeape, which is basically the main bread and butter for those. But we're going to go up here against a Metang right now. What I expect if I see a Metang like this is that they're going to have a Jirachi in the back, because Metang is actually a very cool Pokemon to bait out certain Pokemon that maybe Jirachi doesn't want to face, and then try to sweep endgame with Jirachi. That's what I think they're going to do, and that's exactly what they're going to do here. And so the first battle here, we can't really talk too much because it is quite an attack-weighted battle, like a lot of Pokemon here going up to it against each other that do a lot of damage. And the game is already over because Crunch has reached so fast on Gyarados now that we're going to be able to win this battle with this Pokemon and 3 Pokemon left. So, we're going to have a bad lead here, we're going to stop out here into the Gyarados, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the team. We're going to have the lead of a Bastion, a Pokemon that's going to be very good against especially the Dragon-type Pokemon in the current format. They are part flying, and those are also kind of weak to Gyarados, and that is kind of the main idea here. Those two Pokemon work insanely well together. Here you even see me not going for the Aqua Tail, because what I want to do is I want to get energy on my Bastion, as I'm not worried about anything the opponent is going to go for here. By the way, if you want to run this team, which I actually would recommend you to go for, you don't need to have the Shadow version of this Pokemon here, you can just go for the normal version of it. Here we're going to go up against now the Diggersby with our Annihilate, and we see already why Annihilate is so important as well. We need something that kind of can deal with Steel-type Pokemon a little bit better, and that's why we have the Fighter here. I actually had first as an idea here to have the Shadow Venusaur on the back with the new move Sludge on it, but I felt I was a little bit too weak against Pokemon like the Empoleon with that, so that's why we decided to go for this Shadow Ape here, which definitely was the right choice, as it was able to sweep a lot of the games on its own, as you're gonna see here as well. Bye-bye, and we can move on to the next opponent. So, this team here is actually really well together. We're going to have the weakness to Fairy typing in the back, with the Dragon Breath generally being resisted on our Gyarados, which is not too bad because we're going to get to our Chargers quite fast. But also, of course, our weakness is going to mainly be the Annihilate here. But it's honestly working out super well, because, again, Gyarados is a perfect glue basically between the Annihilate as well as the Bastion. Bastion being weak mainly to fighting as well as ground type moves, double weak to both of them. We're going to have that double, like the resistance against those, against like with the Annihilate, double resisting fighting, and we have the Gyarados double resisting ground but single resisting fighting as well still. So basically we're going to have great answers against both of the main weaknesses of the Bastion. We kind of try to really help the Bastion out here in this team. And basically also again, the weaknesses that you have with our Pokemon here in the back with our Annihilate, we're going to be able to bait out most of the times with the Gyarados as well, because Gyarados is going to be a bit weak with Dragon Breath all of times, but also just going to be very neutral against like those flying type Pokemon that don't really want to face the Bastion, and it's just such a great core together. And here in this battle as well, we're going to see that Bastion, the Shadow Bastion, was able to beat a ground type Pokemon and now takes out the Dedenne to win us the 3rd battle in a row. But not every battle is going to go to plan. We're going to have a horrible lead, where we're going to have to swap out straight away to just get walled again with the Tinkaton. Tinkaton is going to be able to one-shot us with our Play Rough, but not only this, it's also going to be able to do quite, can take the fast move so easily, because it's going to be triple resisting the Dragon Breath from us, so we just only do 1 damage, so we don't have even really the option here to farming them down, I think, and that is going to be quite an awkward scenario for us. So I'm not really too sure on what I'm going to do here. I'm going to be able to go for the Aqua Tail, and I decide to now shield this move up again. I think I don't know if we're going to be able to outspeed them here. They're still going to have a shield left. I decided to just go for the Aqua Tail here now, trying to see if I'm going to get the shield or not. And now I can swap out into the Annihilate, trying to snipe them. And this doesn't work out. That doesn't work out at all. They have a perfect answer against me again in the back. And like literally there's nothing I can do here. I had a ground type and water type against my lead, which is weak to both of the typing. I had against my Dragon Breath user a Fairy type that's part Steel typing. We're going to have against our Fighting and Ghost type, a Ghost type and Flying type basically. It is just impossible to win this battle. Like, this is just what happens sometimes as well still. you are going to have teams that are just impossible to beat for you. That's going to happen for every team, but it's also very important to showcase that. And again, by the way, I still did a lot more battles compared to yesterday, and I have still not encountered really a single time where I lost to lag, which is so refreshing, I have to say. I hope it stays like this. Alright, we're going to encounter a great lead, but we see here already a little bit of a weakness for this team, which is going to be Azumarill, right? Not really, because Azumarill itself is actually a Pokemon that doesn't really do well against the Bastiodon, especially against the non-Shadow Bastiodon. I would actually recommend here the non-Shadow version of Bastiodon. Shadow Bastiodon doesn't make sense, I just have it here because I want to have a triple Shadow team. That's literally the main reason for it, which shouldn't be a reason to pick a certain Pokemon. But also, yeah, I can still go for a charge move here. I will see if they're going to decide to use a shield or not. Let's see, they decide to use a shield, and so I can stop onto my Gyarados, and I hope they can just knock them out with an awkward tail here, which I'm going to get to super fast. It's really the damage, but it's Shadow Gyarados doing the damage here, and they survive with 1 HP. If they didn't survive with 1 HP, I would have been in such an amazing spot, but they're going to have now the Dusclops in the back here, which you can still take a hit from, but honestly, like, the 1 HP there is going to be so detrimental for our team. We're going to be able to still go for a crunch here though against the opponent, which is going to be alright. That's going to allow us to get some damage onto them. And actually, I'm kind of happy with that because I can still go for an Awkward Tail, and because of the insane pacing that we have here, we're going to be in a spot where I think we're going to be able to win this battle. I can stop on now into my Bastiodon against the opponent's Talonflame. And well, they're going to be able to farm me down here because of the Shadow bonus. The Shadow bonus also allowed me to get them so low that I can farm them all the way down. And I never even see my last Pokemon here. So unless you get farmed down or got a card count in there, you're going to be kind of in the right spot. Here, we had a bit of lag actually. This was the first time actually I've seen lag there, which allowed them to get into this matchup a tiny bit earlier than I wanted them to. There was just a frame drop there, which is alright. We're going to be able to support still into our answer here. It's still going to be an okay matchup. We still will be able to align ourselves, which is very important for this. We're gonna get to the Awkward Tail here. They decide to use a shield, that's okay. But we can now go for our own shield and farm them down. And I think that's going to be the best spot that we can be in. But it's still going to be a bit of a tough one here because we don't know what they have in the back. And honestly, I want to copy their team. And I will be copying their team. Because what they have here is they have Carving, which got buffed as well. Rock Slide is now on this Pokemon, which is going to be very good for it. But they're going to have the Torterra in the back. And I think that's such a cool idea. It's such a cool team idea. It's of course an ABB style line, but I think it's a team that I really want to cover and copy there as well. It has a Sandtomb. I had to let the move go through here because I think it was the right choice. At the end of the day, I think maybe it wasn't. I think I should have just used a shield. And I think I should have just been able to get more damage in with my Annihilate instead. I can underestimate here the damage of the opponent and overestimate the damage of my Annihilate. And with that, we kind of leave ourselves in a very vulnerable spot. I think a Sandtomb on the Bastion would have been not as bad as all the Mud Slaps there. So I think I could have actually won this battle if I played it a bit smarter. I didn't, and that's my own fault. Of course, like in the beginning was there as well, but it really didn't matter. Like, I really didn't decide the game. What decided the game is my choice there to no shield. And so we can move on here now to the next opponent. We're going to have the Empoleon, which actually has a very solid matchup against Gyarados, but still a lot of times wants to swap out because both the fast move as well as the main charge move is going to be resisted. But as you can see here, they're going to go into the Stunfisk, and funnily enough, they're just going to give me a shield advantage. They didn't have to do that. They're going to go for the Discharge now. That's alright by me. Absolutely alright by me. And we are going to be able to go into our Basti. Basti will enjoy this one. Basti is going to have a great time here. Not really, to be fair. Just gonna take the damage, but we need to kind of get rid of the energy of the opponent because our only way of winning this one is going to be our Annihilate. And we see the swap out here from the opponent. We're going to have still our Bastion left with a tiny bit of HP. Our Annihilate is going to have to shield up the move here against the opponent's Empoleon. And what we see here as well, which I didn't expect, is we lose the CMP tie. I really didn't expect that one. I really didn't expect this one. That is going to be a tough one for us now because I was really expecting that we would be fine here, but we weren't fine. And so, yeah, as you see here, the opponent is going to have the Giratina now in the back, and if I had that extra energy, I would have won this battle here straight away. Like, there's no doubt about it. I would have won this battle straight away. Now I have to try to catch, but even then, Righteous would have not been enough. So, good game to the opponent. I don't have any chance here anymore, and yeah, good game there. To be fair, what kind of intrigues me right now is Drangwrath, Ancient Power, and the other move, Giratina. I forgot about like the signature move. I think that would be a fun Pokemon to showcase as well. There's so much to play right now. It is kind of funny. I am so excited for this current meta. I'm so happy for the season. There's some Pokemon that I'm kind of, course, a bit worried about, but honestly, this is so much fun for me right now. I hope you're enjoying it the equal amount as I do, because honestly, it is such a fun experience currently. I'm super happy. Yeah, we're going to have here the opponent having to take basically that flamethrower, going to allow us to knock out the Steelix with our Bastion, which is kind of funny. Steelix very likely doesn't want to run the Earthquake in this current meta. It's mainly going to be Crunch, because it's going to have better pacing, also against Pokemon like Empoleon. It also gives you coverage against some of the Pokemon that you kind of want to have coverage against, like a Dusclops, for example, or the Dusknoir there, which is going to be cool. But yeah, as you're going to see here, the opponent is going to have now their own Bastion against our Bastion. We are going to be able to just take those hits, and we just kind of try to get them, get the energy out of them, because we know our win con is going to be our Annihilate. And with that, we are going to be able to definitely win this battle, because what the opponent can do here is, I don't know, nothing really. We can just go for the Rage Twist. We have a lot of fast move pressure, and at this point we should be able to even just fully farm them down in time. And so we are in a very good position, as we will see here as well. There's going to be the Aqua Tail. This is going to be alright, and we can go for the full farm down and have another Charge Move start, which the opponent, of course, is gonna now decide to forfeit. Fortress, an interesting Pokemon. A lot of times they're not running the move Earthquake anymore, they're running mainly the move Sand Tomb, and that is going to be something that we're going to take advantage of. We're going to decide to let the move go here, it's going to be the Sand Tomb from the opponent, and we can try to go ahead and go for the Flamethrower here. Flamethrower is going to be alright, the Flamethrower is going to allow us to get the shield from them, and we can stop out of here into the Gyarados because they're not running a Volt Switch, and we're going to get out the Electric type Pokemon here, which is very important for us, because it's going to be that Morpeko, honestly. Wait, I get another move. They underestimated my energy generation again. People just underestimate the Gyarados the entire time on how much energy this thing can generate. And we were able to just align ourselves here. And that's kind of hilarious. We could take any hit here. Everything is going to be not really that effective. Sand Tomb is barely going to do any damage. Going to drop my defense, of course, but like, why do I care? I can shield now, just in case. It's going to be a Rock Tomb or something. It's going to be another Sand Tomb. That's alright. We're going to see the Feraligatr coming in. I'm at -2, but honestly, I just need to stay in here. I just need to go for the Rage Twist, and I'm going to be alright. I'm going to be able to do so much damage against them. I will be able to get the KO against them, and I will be able to win this battle here now, as we will see here the Fortress going down, and we can move on to the final battle for today. And those were 10 battles, but this team is just very fast, even though we have the Bastion in it. We're going to have the Empoleon again here as well. That is going to be a bit of an awkward one. A Drill Peck is coming through, and I decided to use a shield as a swap out into the Altaria, where I should be able to get back the shield as well. So let's see on how this is going to work out for us. We're going to have here the... Okay, no shield. No, the shield coming through actually for me. I kind of want to get more shields from the opponent, I guess. I kind of want to have the alignment here. Or I just want to get the energy and now use my Bastion in order to get a ton of farm against them. Because what we had there before is that the opponent went for a charge move with their Empoleon first, which allowed me now to align myself here for a little bit longer, keep the energy on the Gyarados, which can be very crucial for the end game there as well. So I'm actually kind of happy about my play there. And we're still going to get the Empoleon very low, to the point that they're going to be forced to throw somewhere. And we are gonna see here the Hydrocan coming through. I can snipe them because I was still able to survive them, and because the switch clock is now up a little bit faster. In comes the Torterra, a Pokemon that is gonna bring some terror to this meta here. But as you guys see, we are going to be able to just let the move go. It's going to be very likely the Frenzy. The Frenzy Plan is coming through, but I still have 2 charge moves stored on my Gyarados, and that means I am in no danger here. I am just going to be able to go for that Awkward Tail, get that KO, and in comes again the Altaria, which wins us the battle. And honestly, I'm so hyped for the season. I can't wait to record the next video again. So hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to leave a like, subscribe. It is free, helps out a ton, and we see you then in the next video. Bye bye.